Hello everyone and welcome you all in this next class where we are going to discuss the stress strain characteristic of concrete as well as the stress strain characteristic of steel. So if you look at the stress strain curve of concrete, you can very easily understand that this curve is non-linear, and also we know that the concrete is a brittle material, so the curve is also non-elastic. Non-elastic saying means that if we do unloading, the material will not come back to its original shape, size and position. It will not follow the same path. It will rather, if you load the material from origin to say like up to this point, if you have loaded, then it will go back to this. So some residual strain value will always be there. Okay, this graph is the idealized stress strain diagram of the real scenario for the concrete. In the real scenario, if you look at, then as we have discussed that the stress strain diagram is non-linear and non-elastic, like this, something like this. So the code recommends some modification in the stress strain diagram of concrete, and it asks us to assume that stress strain diagram of concrete is composed of two curves. One is parabolic in nature and another is rectangular in nature. And you can see the one portion from origin to say this point. If this is the value of FCK, this is a parabolic curve, and after this point the curve follows a linear trend. So this area is parabolic, whereas this area is rectangular. So if you are looking at this curve, you will find the three graphs in the same curve. The first one is the original curve that we obtain for a cube. This is for one cube. What is this cube? Cube is a concrete block of dimension 150 mm into 150 mm into 150 mm, and these cubes are casted from the concrete being manufactured at the site into specimens, molds of the size 150 mm into 150 mm into 150 mm, and they are kept for 28 days under curing, and after that they are tested, and from the test results from the laboratory we get scatter diagram and we plot them on normal distribution curve and we get the characteristic strength. So this is the FCK value. Okay, this is the FCK value for one cube, but the concrete has got size effect. This is the size effect. And what is this effect of size? It says that due to the difference in the size, the behavior of one cube is not the same as the behavior of concrete in the entire structure. So if the first curve is just for a cube, then the second curve is for the entire multi-story building. So this effect is called size effect, and this we have written here as structure size effect. And due to structure size effect, it is assumed that the concrete in the entire structure develops a strength of only 0.67. Why we take this factor only 0.67? Because in some code it is written that strength development in the structure is only 2 by 3rd of the cube, or we can also say 0.67. So 2 by 3rd times the strength of the cube. If the strength in the cube you get FCK, then in the structure you will use the value 0.67 FCK. So this is the difference in the strength due to the structure size effect. Hence the theoretical curve is reduced by the factor 0.67. Alright, तो ऊपर के दो कर्व्स का तो समझ में आ गया, पर ये तीसरा कर्व क्यों? So the lowermost curve which you are seeing here as this, and this curve is actual design curve of concrete that we are going to use. I am saying this FD, and that's why we have written here FD in a structure. This is used in limit state method, and design curve is basically more important for us. for calculating any analytical expression for concrete. And design strength is related with the compressive strength with a factor of partial safety factor gamma m. And gamma m, as I have told you many times, gamma m for concrete is 1.5. Remember it. Gamma m for concrete is 1.5 and gamma m for steel is 1.15. So we can say that FD is equal to characteristic strength in structure, not in the cube, because we are going to calculate design strength in structure. So we have to use the characteristic strength of a structure, which is equal to 0.67 FCK divided by gamma m, and gamma m we know that 1.5. So whatever value you obtain, you just get here FD. Okay, so this value of design strength is basically used. So one more very important point that you can note, that the parabolic curve of stress strain diagram is up to the strain value 0.002, and the ultimate strain value that the concrete can withstand is 0.0035. So these two values are mentioned by IS code. If you assume the distance of this curve from this point to this point xu, then we can easily take the factor with the help of 0.002 and 0.0035. Then we can say that parabolic curve is extended up to 4/7 part of xu, and the rectangular curve is extended up to 3/7 of xu. How this is calculated? And if we take highest common factor HCF of 20 and 35, we will get it is 5. So 20 is the 4 times 5 and 35 is the 7 times 5. So we can take 4 out of 7 part. Alright. And for 35, the factor comes as 7/7 equal to 1. But this 1 is from the origin. If we remove 4/7 part from 1, then we get 1 minus 4/7, that is equal to 3/7. So 4/7 xu plus 3/7 xu, you will get this value of xu. Okay. So this was the idealized stress strain diagram of concrete, and we idealized it so that we can derive an analytical expression very easily. And just like we have seen that it's rectangular parabolic curve. Okay, and the ultimate strain of concrete at failure is 0.0035. That short term static modulus of concrete. What is the short term static modulus? For time being, you can understand that elastic modulus of concrete is equal to 5000 into root under FCK, and the unit is Newton per mm square or megapascal. Now you can see that elastic modulus is calculated here. So concrete is not 100% non-elastic. It is elastic in the initial region at very low values of load. So elastic modulus is a function of characteristic compressive strength of concrete. अगर FCK मैं बोलूँ आपको 100 मेगापास्कल है, ठीक है, तो कितनी होगी इलास्टिक मॉडुलस? यू कैन इजीली कैलकुलेट. इलास्टिक मॉडुलस विल बी 5 into 10 to the power 4 megapascal. All right. Now this value which you have obtained from this formula, it may differ plus minus 20% from the actual values. All right. Also I have written the reason for the third curve that we apply the partial safety factor gamma m 1.5 for concrete. Further on the 0.67 FCK to get design stress strain curve for concrete in structure. So this was all regarding the stress strain diagram of concrete. Now we come to the stress strain characteristic of steel. So before discussing it, there are different kinds of steel being used in building constructions and available in the market. There are basically 3 types, and the first one is the plain carbon steel, or also said as mild steel, and it is represented as Fe250. अब देखिए ये 250 क्या है? ये yield stress है. Steel is a elastic material. और इसकी यील्ड स्ट्रेस कितनी होती है 250 मेगा पास्कल। तो सच अ माइल्ड स्टील इज कॉल्ड प्लेन कार्बन स्टील। प्लेन कार्बन स्टील कहने का मतलब है कि एक ऐसी स्टील की बार जिसका सरफेस एकदम आपको प्लेन हो, ठीक है। द सेकेंड टाइप इज द रीबार स्टील, and rebar is the short form of reinforcing bar, or also called reinforcing steel, or also called cold worked deformed bars. These are the different names, or even sometimes it is said as H by SD bar, high yield strength deformed bar. I will discuss all these things in the revision video. So they come into two categories, Fe415 and Fe500. You can easily understand that the yield strength in these bars are very high in comparison to the plain carbon steel. Next type of steel is the structural steel, and this type of structural steel we are going to discuss in the next course, that is in the next semester, under the title of design of steel structures. And we use different types of steel like I shape, angle shape, channel shape, T shape, hollow, rectangular shape, solid, cylindrical shape. These are the different shapes of the structural steel. So basically we are going to deal with the mild steel little bit, and mostly with the high yield strength deformed bars. Mild steel, since it has got less yield strength, so it's used just as a secondary or distribution rebar. अब distribution rebar क्या है ये भी बताऊंगा बाद में, but for time being, deformed bar is now most prominently used, and this is used as main reinforcement bar. Main reinforcement bar कहने का मतलब सिंपल है कि यही है जो बेसिकली लोड लेगा, ठीक है। Now what is the yield strength of steel? It is the stress value that the steel can take while still showing elastic behavior. Any stress applied to steel above this value will take it into the plastic zone, and we have discussed it. Just like this is the elastic zone, and after this is the upper yield point and lower yield point, and then there is a plastic zone. This is the plastic zone, and this is the elastic zone, capital E, and this is the plastic zone. So this is the yield point. So this is very clear, and steel are categorized depending on the yield strength. So there are three types of steel mentioned here: Fe250, Fe415 and Fe500. So the steel type is designated based on the yield strength of the steel, and you can always remember this: 1 megapascal is equal to 1 Newton per mm square. So if you talk of the mild steel bar Fe250, it shows very definite yield point, as you can see in the curve below. This one is the elastic zone, and then followed by a plastic zone, and we can clearly demarcate the yield point, that this is the yield point, and the value we can easily get. So this is the characteristic strength of steel. अब आप कहोगे कि सर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ स्टील ये तो बस एक स्पेसिमेन का है ना, स्ट्रक्चर में तो कुछ और भी स्ट्रेंथ होगी। तो नहीं, स्टील इज नॉट लाइक कॉन्क्रीट विच हैज़ गॉट अ स्ट्रक्चर साइज इफेक्ट. Understand it very clearly. Concrete has got structure size effect, but not the steel. Since steel is a elastic material and its properties are uniform and homogeneous, it doesn't depend on the place where you are going to use it or the size of the specimen you are going to use it. So we do not incorporate the structure size factor on the characteristic curve of a steel, which we are seeing here, but rather we directly divide this characteristic curve by gamma m is equal to 1.15 for steel to get the design stress strain curve for steel. All right, and you can look at this second curve, and this second curve is basically used in the design scenarios. Okay, so this is more important for us. And as per the IS code, elastic modulus of steel is a constant, and it is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square, or 200 kilonewton per mm square. So this is the process of getting design curve in mild steel. But in case of deformed bars like Fe415 and Fe500, which do not show any definite yield point phenomena in the stress strain diagram. Actually, if you draw the stress strain diagram of Fe415 and Fe500, the curves are like this. So they don't show any definite yield point. इसमें ऐसा नहीं कि कोई plateau region है. तो in such cases we adopt a different process of calculating the yield point, because see, the yield point calculation is very very important. Unless we know the yield point, we don't get the yield strength, और yield strength ही है जो हम यूज करने वाले हैं प्रॉब्लम्स में. सो इन सच केसेस proof stress is assumed to be yield stress. That means the proof stress which you get in these curves, you can take them as the yield stress. Now the question automatically comes, how to get that proof stress? So in engineering, stress strain curve at 0.2% strain, this value is called proof strain. A straight line is drawn parallel to the elastic curve following Hooke's law will cut the curve at proof stress, and this value 0.2% strain value is called a proof strain. You can see the method of determining proof stress. अगर proof stress पता चल गया, so that proof stress will become your yield stress of the deformed bars. So you can see the stress strain diagram of Fe415, and we don't see any definite yield point here. So what we do, we will calculate the proof stress. So first of all, we will take the strain value 0.002, which may be called as 0.2%. And from this point, what we will do, we are going to draw a line, straight line, and this line is parallel to which line? This line, initial elastic curve. So we can say the slope of this curve is same as the slope of this curve. And what is the slope of elastic curve? We know that the slope is capital ES, modulus of elasticity of a steel, and this value is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 5 megapascal. And this straight line, wherever it cuts the curve, corresponding to that point, whatever stress value you obtain, that value of stress becomes the proof stress. Alright, so the stress strain curve for deformed D-bars is also drawn here. So you can just look at, this is the yield stress of deformed bar corresponding to the proof strain 0.002 with the same slope, and tan theta is equated as ES, and this is the characteristic stress strain diagram for deformed bars. Now we have to divide this characteristic curve by partial safety factor gamma m equal to 1.15 to get the design curve of deformed bars Fe415. So we will get this curve, and this value Fy divided by 1.15 is equal to 0.87 Fy, and this value of 0.87 Fy we are going to use repeatedly in our problems. Now the value of a strain corresponding to this proof strain for the design curve can be calculated as 0.87 Fy. आप देख सकते हैं 0.87 Fy ये वाली वैल्यू है, ठीक है, divided by ES, and when you divide this perpendicular height, you will get this value, and if you add the value 0.002, you will get the value of a strain. So epsilon strain is equal to 0.002, this is the proof strain, plus 0.87 Fy, this is the design yield strength of the steel, divided by the modulus of elasticity of steel ES, and if you calculate this value, you can easily get the value of a strain. So if I ask you to calculate the strain value for Fe415, how are you going to proceed? So in Fe415, Fy is 415 megapascal. This is very clear, and we know the elastic modulus of a steel is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 5 megapascal. And when we put both these values, so this value is very easy, and numerically you can calculate it from the calculator. and you can get the value of strain corresponding to the design yield strength of deformed bars. All right. So I hope this must be very clear to you. If you just go through the notes which I have provided you, everything will be very clear. And even after this, if you get some more doubts, I'm trying to send very interesting videos which are going to revise your whole fundamentals that we have discussed so far till now in this semester, as well as whatever you have studied in the previous semester, which is going to be practically used in this semester also, so that the entire learning process would become very enjoyable. So with this, I would like to interfere. You stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you.